Hi, my name's Andrew and I'm going to talk you through some of the popular roasting joints that are on offer from your local butcher and advise you on which would be best for your Sunday lunch. Starting with what we call four-rib of beef. This comes out of the shoulder of the cow. Some of the customers actually asked me about the marbling and the fat. Marbling is good. That's what actually helps to give the meat its flavour, because the little bits of fat in the meat keep the meat moist while cooking. This one actually is completely on the bone. The alternative is to actually get your local butcher to take all the bottom bone off, and then that sort of creates what we call an easy carve joint. Cooking times on a bit of rib of beef, about 20 minutes a pound and 20 minutes over, oven 180. Another very popular joint is the rolled topside. This actually comes from the top of the leg of the cow. No bone at all, so very easy to carve. It's quite a lean joint, so we put a covering of fat on there, and that is on there purely for the cooking process. That keeps the meat moist, and you don't have to eat that, you can actually discard it. Cooking time, 20 minutes a pound, 20 over, oven about 180. Now this is a bit of what we call sirloin. This actually comes from the lower rib of the animal. Very popular as steaks, but you can also actually roast it. If you ask your butcher nicely, he will actually roll it up for you for roasting, but you can actually roast it flat as well. Cooking times for a bit of sirloin, 15 minutes a pound, and then the 15 over, oven 180. A different type of cooking, still with beef. This is a bit of Silverside. Now this piece of beef you can actually roast. You need to roast this longer on a lower heat. The other way to actually cook this, a very popular way, is what they call a pot roast. You get your big pot with your lid, pop loads of vegetables in and your water, cook that long and slow, and it's beautiful. Now we'll go on to lamb, some of the different roasting joints that you can purchase from your butcher. Right, this is a whole leg of lamb, which would feed probably 6 to 8 people there. But you don't have to buy a whole leg. You can actually buy a half a leg. This is what we call the knuckle end, and that is actually the fillet end. And one of the things that we'll actually do for you is, this is called the H-bone. We'll loosen that right off and then tie it back on, because it's always best to cook with a bit of bone. But once it's cooked, you can just cut the string, take that bone away, and it just makes it a lot easier to carve. Cooking times for a leg of lamb, about 20 minutes a pound and 20 over for your resting. Temperature-wise, wants to be about 180, the oven. Another popular joint is what they call the shoulder. Again, you can have a whole shoulder, or just a half a shoulder, obviously depending on how many you're actually feeding. We'll actually bone the shoulder out for you and roll it up, so that makes it even easier for carving. Another roasting joint, this is what we actually call the saddle of lamb, and you can see why it's probably called that. This is one for especially wowing your friends. This is actually the loin of the lamb plus the chump. One thing that we can actually do for you again is take all the bone out of it, and we can actually even stuff it for you, roll it up for you, so it's just a roll like that. Very easy to carve. Cooking times again, about 180, 20 minutes to the pound, 20 over. So there you have it. Some different ideas on roasting joints. Just go to the recipe page for some great recipe ideas.